Facebook, and on YouTube. So we'll give everybody about a minute to come on, and then we'll go ahead and begin. So just give it a second. Seeing if I can see it live. I hope I can see myself. So we're simulcasting to both YouTube and Facebook. On Facebook, it's SoCal Steven, and on YouTube, it's Reports on Housing. Those are our sites. And so welcome to a Thursday housing debrief. Normally they're Fridays at 3, but I am unable to make it to tomorrow's housing debrief at 3. So we're doing it on Thursday instead. So happy Thursday. I do have one kid, so we can kill some time. I think I do have actual volume today. We have, this is Mason Edward. He is just got done with school, 10 years old, 4th grade, having fun, right? Mm-hmm. Playing soccer, a man of many words. Say hello to everybody.
Hi.
The other two girls will be coming in shortly. They are walking the dog. That is actually a one of the Thomas privileges.
No, it's showing.
Oh, yeah. You mean there's a delay?
No, you're right. It's showing all of it.
That's okay. Thank you. I appreciate it. Anyways, we'll go ahead and get started with the Housing Debrief Episode 2, Season 2, Episode 2. I'm going to toggle on over here. And this is, let's see, here we go. There we go. All right. First, I would like to thank our sponsor, our long-term sponsor. It's Kevin Buddy, Monarch Coast Financial. And thank you so much, Kevin, for your continued sponsorship. And of course, he's a fantastic lender. I've known him for an extremely long time. And he deals with more than one kind of borrower and, of course, more than one kind of loan. Everything from full doc loans to alternative documentation loans to investor financing and private money. So everything from full doc to private money, everything in between. Has loads of experience, has been doing this since 1976. He knows what he's doing. You want to tap into somebody with experience and great market knowledge. And he's a fellow numbers economic nut like myself. So just tap into Kevin Buddy at Monarch Coast Financial. He's my buddy and your buddy, Kevin Buddy. You can let him help you too at 949-422-2075. So our company is Reports on Housing. It's your local real estate snapshot. We have housing reports that dot all over Southern California. Just navigate to reportsonhousing.com. We do not like to focus that much on closed sales data. I can tell you closed sales data is up in every single county and far surpasses the past several years. So that's fantastic for January. But does that help you if you're a buyer in the market today, mid-February, and trying to find a home? Or if you're a seller, what's the market look like? So here it is. Ooh, I can now read it. My stream thing is working. I had it on wrong before, but I can actually see it. So, hey, that's pretty cool. I'm liking that. A few fixes from yesterday. I actually have sound today and not making those errors, and I can see my feed so that I can see when there is an issue. So, but we don't like to focus on closed sales data. We like to focus on the current active supply of homes available for buyers to purchase today. That's the supply. And demand, that's the last 30 days worth of pending sales. From that, we're able to adequately tell you what's going on in the marketplace. If you place your home on the market today, when are you going to open up escrow? That's called expected market time. Throwaway days on market. My expected market time tells you exactly how hot it's getting and when it's getting hotter, and is an extremely reliable statistic. It's all about setting expectations of everybody, buyers, sellers, everybody, because at the end of the day, knowledge is power. Data, you can't really refute the data. And you look at the data, you compare what's going on to prior years and where we're all at, you put it all together and you're able to make some really sound decisions. You can't really argue it because unfortunately with the internet, there's so much that you can tap into. You can justify whatever you're thinking, but it's very, very hard to refute the data. So we have reports that dot all over Southern California. Riverside and San Bernardino got the latest one this week. And the next one that goes out this coming up May 4 along the coast, LA, Orange County, and San Diego. So the most recent one is bidding war. So there will be a new report that comes out this coming up Monday. Stay tuned for that. And our company, our website's reportsonhousing.com, and click on subscribe. It comes out every 2 weeks, like I said, with a ton of links at the bottom of every single report so that you can even put on your own logo. You can do whatever you want with it so that you can get it out and educate everybody as to what's going on in the marketplace. It's $15 per month or $150 per year. And if you sign up, you get a month free if you utilize the coupon code 2021 offers, because that's what everybody's doing, is writing a lot of offers. So 2021 offers. And so without further ado, let's get into it. No foreclosure wave. I know there's a lot of people sitting on the edge of their seat and they can't wait for this to happen, for this to occur, because it is extremely frustrating being a buyer. So everybody's trying to anticipate what's the next big change in real estate. And fortunately or unfortunately, it's not really going to change much. It's going to line up in favor of the sellers. It could back off a little bit, and that is just interest rates that would change things. But I understand it's extremely frustrating trying to find a home in this kind of a marketplace. So then everybody goes to trying to figure out something that could eventually change the marketplace. And that being, we're waiting for the coming foreclosure crisis. There's going to be a wave of foreclosures. Come on, Stephen. There's a ton of homes in forbearance. There's a ton of people that are in long-term debt. Oh my gosh, there's a dog. Really quick, I want to bring in a couple of sidekicks. This is Luna. We've seen pictures of her, but she was just on a walk. Luna is very cute, has a really beautiful face. She's half Chihuahua, and we think half Dachshund. This is Alana, or as Zeke calls her, Nana. By the way, Zeke is sleeping right now, but he just had his 3-year-old birthday party on Monday. Hard to believe. And this is Fantastic Athena. Right, Fantastic Athena? Yeah.
Shisha.
Shisha is what Zeke calls her, Shisha. And Mason is May. So do you have anything to say to the masses?
Yes, I am half awesome, half cool.
Half awesome, half cool. How about you?
Half skilled.
Half skilled?
Half smart.
Half smart. Awesome. Thank you.
Yes.
It's great seeing the kids again, right? So anyways, thank you so much for being a part of my presentation.
Okay, bye-bye.
Yes. So we're waiting for the coming foreclosure crisis. This is kind of what a lot of buyers are hoping for. And the reason for it is because they want to see that they can get some sort of a deal. And unfortunately, that is just not going to materialize. So based upon the things that buyers say, who said the real estate profession was stressful? Yes, I'm 48 and I feel great. Or the most expensive part of being in real estate is the wine. You have to drink to stay sane. Isn't that true? So anyways, people are wondering, okay, why, Stephen? What's going on? I thought there was going to be a foreclosure crisis. I mean, I have buyers and so many people that are sitting, waiting. They say, I'm going to wait until this wave of foreclosures comes upon us and rips through our real estate market to shreds. That's unfortunately not going to happen. What everybody's doing is they're remembering back to the Great Recession. This economic recession that we have, and it was led by a pandemic, not any other economic sector. And I call that a pandession is what I refer to it as. This recession is way different than the Great Recession. As a matter of fact, most likely they haven't called it yet, but it is going to be one of the shortest recessions when they go back and they call it, because it really, the numbers are looking a lot more favorable that we've crawled our way out of this recession, but hasn't been officially called yet, but it will be. And so you can't compare it to the Great Recession, but unfortunately that's what we do. We go back to the last one. That's when everybody lost their shirt in housing. And we've already come out of that, and we are actually had positive net gains in housing. And that's the truth for the only 2 out of the last 5 recessions prior to this one actually affected the real estate market. And it was one that was savings and loan scandal, led by real estate, and the Great Recession, which was led by real estate and the nonsense we did. This is not the Great Recession. Unfortunately, that's what we remember. And when we hear about anybody being delinquent, we automatically assume that they're going to become foreclosures or short sales. That is where everybody is going with this. And we remember that burn. That burn was nasty. It was bad. We were burned. Somebody we loved was burned. A family, friend. We knew somebody that was burned during the Great Recession. And there were a lot of people that lost their shirts, had no more money, and had to pretty much reboot and start all over again. But out of that, as an industry, as an economy, government-wise, everybody, there's so many regulations that came around that we pretty much were able to apply our SPF 50 plus sunscreen. That makes such a difference. It really does. So you have to understand, it is a huge difference because it's not the same thing as before. Instead, we have tight lender qualifications. We have large down payments. We have very limited cash out refinances. We did not use our homes as piggy banks like we did prior to the Great Recession. There's plenty of nested equity. There's also nearly 40% of all homeowners own their home free and clear. There's no wave of fraudulent lending. All that subprime junk and everything didn't exist. The pick a payment plan didn't really exist since we came out of this. So instead, we have a really strong housing stock. It is extremely strong. And if you look at this, also something to compare it to, this is our supply of homes. In 2007, we had 120,000 homes on the market. That was at start of the Great Recession. Prior to that, even in 2006, we had 105,000 homes on the market for all of Southern California. This is when I saw this in 2006, I knew something was wrong. I actually started to see this in 2004, but then subprime was born in the fall of 2004, and we were able to kick the can down further, but then it all materialized, got worse in 2007, even worse with the number of homes on the market. There were plenty of homes on the market then. Then we got to 2011, there was 75,000 homes on the market. Today, there's 16,110. And this was kind of the story that I was telling everybody back at the beginning of this pandemic was the big difference between now, at the beginning of the pandemic, and the Great Recession was not enough homes on the market. So today we have even fewer. We have 16,110 versus 75,000 in 2011 and 120,000 in 2007. So you can understand it's a supply and demand statistic. So when we placed all those homes on the market and subprime meltdown happened in 2007, we already had a ton of homes, even a year prior. And starting out in 2020, we didn't have that many homes in the market, and it continued through the rest of the year, as well as now. We started off and we were at the lowest level that I've ever seen. So supply and demand, we had very little supply and plenty of demand. This is what happens during the Great Recession. We had a lot of supply and very little demand. And instead, we have quite the opposite right now. We have no supply and plenty of demand. And that really favors sellers. And that's the kind of marketplace that we're in right now. And it's not going to change anytime soon. You have to see this methodical, slow change over time, which is not going to happen. So for all those people that are holding out for foreclosures, here's what the distressed listing breakdown kind of looks like. Today, there are 110 total distressed sales available in all of Southern California. I'm not just talking in Orange County or LA. I'm talking about all of Orange County, all of Southern California. In 2009, there was 58% of all homes that were on the market were either short sales or foreclosures. And today it's at 0.8%. So if I draw a line across where the height was in 2009 compared to where we are today, there is nothing on the market as far as distress is concerned. And in 2009, there were 43,000 homes that were distressed or short sales, foreclosures or short sales. And so you can just see, compare that to 110 today, and such a gargantuan difference. And keep that in mind, that 43,000 for just Southern California. We're talking the whole United States when we're talking forbearance. And forbearance are the people that are stopped the payment, but they're allowed to for 6 months, and they were allowed to extend it. The latest thing is some of them are going to expire after being on a year for March to March of this coming up month. but they're going to be able to extend it 3 more months. And keep in mind, there are new, fresh people coming in forbearance when people are going out, but overall, the trend line has been going down. I say increased, I should have said decreased. Sorry, decreased from 5.35% to 5.29%. That's what happened from week to week this week. And we're now at 2.6 million people that are in forbearance. The height of the number of people in forbearance was in June, 4.3 million people. So we've already shed a tremendous number of people out of forbearance from June to where we are today. And if you keep this in mind, this is from Black Knight, and I'm going to be using statistics from Black Knight. There, 77% of everybody in forbearance has at least 20% equity. That means that they can tap into their equity if they needed to sell. And 90% have at least 10% equity. So that's that 9 and 1. So if you need at least 10% equity in order to sell, and people are going, well, they haven't been making their payments, they're going to have to pay it back. We've had a lot of appreciation in the past year that has kind of buoyed that, so that it's going to enable them to still continue to cash out. So it's really 10% that's vulnerable. In forbearance numbers, 6.7 million forbearances total. That's how many people asked for forbearance that were out there. 2.28 million are in a forbearance and they've extended their term. That's 34% of the 6.7 million. 466,000 are in their original forbearance, which means they've gone in within the last 6 months. That is the other 7%. So you're adding that up and saying that's 41. What about the other 59%? Well, let's get into that. 2.8 million are out of forbearance and are performing. That's 41% are removed and they are performing. That means they're paying back their loans on a monthly basis. Another 308,000 are delinquent and then are loss mitigation, which means they're trying to negotiate some sort of terms. That's the people that just freshly come out. They've got to go through this process if they want something a little bit different and place the number of missed payments either on a payment plan or defer it to the end. So that's 308,000. That's 5%. 168,000 are now delinquent. That's only 2%. Out of all of those people, 6.7 million, only 168,000 are currently delinquent. Do you see the numbers? They're not that huge. 710,000 actually paid off their mortgage completely. That's 11%. So you can see those are your vulnerable and the people that are continuing to be in forbearance. But there's a big difference between what happened during the Great Recession and what happened today. And this forbearance plan is really helping out. And understand, all these people had to apply for loans with very, very tight lending restrictions. So these lenders know that a lot of these borrowers that are having problems, they may need just a little bit of help. And they are willing to help out. The lenders do not want to foreclose on America, so they're going to be working out different kind of plans, thus also abating a foreclosure wave coming in the future. So, and I mentioned that home values have been appreciating. Look at this. This is from Case-Shiller. They're a couple months behind, but it doesn't really matter. You see what's happening in 2020. All of a sudden it flatlined and then boom, we were off to the races, and it's actually going at too strong of a pace for my liking. So you have to understand, a lot of these people are going to work out their forbearance either with the lender or pay it off. There's not a lot of people that are going to end up a foreclosure. Instead, if push comes to shove and they can't, and they're still in a world of hurt down the road, they will be able to dip into their equity and sell their house the regular way, not as a short sell or foreclosure. And we welcome this. So we're not going to see a wave. We're going to see more of a ripple. Yes, there will be more foreclosures, but my prediction is it's going to look like 2016 or 2017 numbers. In all of Southern California in 2016, we had 1,500 on the market. It's really represented about 4% of all the market. So if you were in 2016, you weren't really looking, you had to really look hard for a foreclosure or short sale. There really weren't that many out there. And in 2017, it dropped all the way to 800. So it's going to be somewhere between that 1,500 and 800. And that probably will occur by the end of this year or the start of next year is when I surmise that we're going to be seeing some more foreclosures come into the fold. So let's talk really quick about the Southern California market. Here we are. And yes, it's a little bit too hot for my liking. It's just uncomfortably hot, kind of like it is with this coat right now. I'm just trying to impress you, but it's a little warm in my house because, we're Southern Californians and we put on the heat, right? So the housing market has been extremely hot, and it has everything to do with this, and that's the low interest rates. And low interest rates, this doesn't even show low interest rates, at 1.2%. That's why we have interest rates, probably it's getting close to about 3%. And it's been on the rise. This is the 10-year treasury. It's been on the rise for the last 6 months. It's been at this, it was at 1.208. This looks old, doesn't it? Yes, this was the housing debrief from last week. This week, it's at 1.297. It's knocking on the door of 1.3%. And then we're going to go to that next level where we go between 1.3 and 1.65%. That's that next level. And we could see, as it floats up towards that 1.65% down the road, we could see interest rates as high as 3.5%. So stay tuned for all of that. And I talked about that in last week's episode. And we're continuing to ride up, which means there is a rise in interest rates. And I'm glad. I think we need to cool this puppy down. We're going way too fast. And the only way to do that is for interest rates to rise from pretty much free money to a little bit of money. Anything in the threes is still exceptional. And just remember, this is the winter market. That's where demand surges and the supply remains flat or is actually kind of going down. It's not until the middle of next month that we'll hit that spring market. And that spring market's where demand climbs and peaks and supply rises. So the active listing inventory is right here. Today, I crunched the numbers, and this is approximate. We're going to dial it in a little bit more tonight, but it's Thursday. I still wanted to get it to you. 16,737. That was down 4%, or another 627 homes in the last 2 weeks. Last year, we were at 29,158. That's 74% more than where we are today, over 12,000 homes. And the active listing inventory, this is where we are at right now. You can see we've never been here before. It's the lowest level since tracking for all of Southern California. That's 2013. If you remember 2013, it was very hard to navigate in that market, and we have way fewer homes on the market right now. And I talked about it last week. This is what I said. There's not enough homes on the market. And in Southern California, we were missing 11% of the normal number of homes for the 5-year average. We're missing 2,200 homes on the market in January. And a lot of that has to do with, but there's nothing to buy. But I have something to tell all those homeowners out there. We need to work with homeowners, for Pete's sakes. Attention homeowners, do not let a lack of inventory prevent you from listing. There are options. Matter of fact, the market is so hot. My brother-in-law listed a home at $605,000. It was at the market value, and you know what? Ended up getting 26 offers after something like 58 showings, and all within 2 days. Had to place it on hold. He showed me the spreadsheet of them all. They all had great different terms and great stories. And there was people that were waiving appraisals, and it was going way above the purchase price. And it was absolutely spectacular to see this giant spreadsheet. I really applaud my brother-in-law for putting it together. But my point is that this kind of a market, you can place your home on the market, and hey, what if you want to rent back for 2 months? You might get somebody to pay for it and say, you know what, I'll take it, and you don't have to pay me for 2 months. And I've actually seen those out there. So buying yourself an extra 60 days beyond that to actually open up a different escrow and find a replacement property. Or you can place your home on the market subject to finding another house when you go into escrow. So people do that as well. So there are options out there, because down the road, there will be more homes that come on the market. This market will continue to entice more homeowners to come on the market. And as far as demand is concerned, this is where we're at today. We're at 18,595, up 11% from 2 weeks ago. You can see where we're at right now. It's higher than all prior years, and we're going to continue to climb. Last year, we were 15,923, 14% less. It's the strongest start to a year since tracking as far as where we are right now. And the expected market time year over year, this is where we're at. Today, it's at 26 days. We dropped 4 days in the last 2 weeks. So it was at 30 2 weeks ago. Now you snap it to 26 days. You know, San Bernardino, Riverside are less than a 20-day expected market time. They're in the teens right now. That's how hot it is. Last year, we were at 55 days at the same time, so more than double. And the expected market time where we're at right now is just at record lows, the lowest level since I started tracking all of Southern California in 2012. Beats 2013 by a giant margin. So we're just low, and home values are on the rise. So go to reportsonhousing.com and click on subscribe, and you get a month free if you sign up. It's $15 per month or $150 per year, and you get a month free if you sign up using 2021 offers. That's 2 F's in offers, 2021 offers. And, I want to thank again Kevin Buddy from Monarch Coast Financial. He deals with every kind of loan from full doc to private money, and he has loads of experience, been doing this since 1976. He's a good friend of mine, and he's my buddy and your buddy, Kevin Buddy. You can contact him at 949-422-2075 at Monarch Coast Financial, Kevin Buddy. Thanks again for your sponsorship, Kevin. And that's all I have for you. Went a little bit longer than I wanted to, about 5 minutes longer, but hey, you know what? We're getting it in there. We're dialing it in. I want to bring these episodes and get you the media information as quickly as possible and still have cameos for my children and dog. So I appreciate it. I'll get to all of the questions that are in the chat. Please go ahead and continue to add more questions in the chat. I'll get back to them. And I thank you for tuning in on a Thursday at 3:00 p.m. Next week, we'll be back on schedule. Housing Debrief episode 3. Friday at 3:00, and we'll go back to Fridays at 3, Housing Debrief. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And everybody have a great finish to your week.